Oh, I didn't even know I was zoomed in. Awesome. Welcome back, my sweet besties. We are back in my library room. It feels so good to be home. I guess this will be my first video back home after my travels. It was so fun to be away, but it does feel nice to be home. And originally, I wasn't actually gonna film one of these this month because I was like, it's a little bit into the month now. I usually like to post these at the end of like the previous month. So like my September TBR would usually be live at the end of August. And I was like, maybe I'll just mood read this month. I won't post a TBR, but then I just kind of missed it and I just kind of wanted to film one, so we're here. Also, you might be like, Rachel, is there going to be a wrap up for August? No. I read 5 books last month, and I guess we can do a very quick little mini wrap up right now. If you guys want to watch my previous reading vlog, I talk about my thoughts on The Final Empire, Firefly Lane, and How to Love Your Neighbor. And the other 2 books that I read last month were Thieves Gambit, which I think I'd give like 3 or 3.5 stars. It was good, but it wasn't as good as I think I thought it would be. I feel like the concept was better than the execution, and I don't know if I'm going to continue the series because I do know there's like a second book either coming out or it is out. I'm not sure, but I wasn't as obsessed as I was hoping. And then the other book that I read was Open Water, which I've been wanting to read for so long, and I'm really glad that I read it, but I think I'd also give that one about 3.5 stars. I loved the story, but the writing was just really difficult for me. I think it's told in, is it second person? Is that the one where they're like, she went to the bar, she did this, she saw him, she looked at him, she talked to him? Like, it was really like short and snappy sentences, and it was told in second person, and I have learnt that that is not something that really clicks with my brain. I just felt very distracted by the writing and couldn't really concentrate on getting connected to the story or the characters. So I think I've just learnt that that style of writing is not for me, but I don't think it's a bad book at all. It just didn't click with me. But that's all my thoughts on all the books that I read in August. And if you're wondering how I did on my TBR last month, I don't even want to talk about it. I think I read one out of the 6 that I picked. So we're not going to talk about it. We're going to move on. We're going to pick a new TBR and pretend that the August one literally didn't even happen. So welcome to my September TBR. Oh, Lang is calling me.
Oh my god, right?
What? That's so funny. Oh no. I'm filming my TBR jar right now.
Oh, hi.
Okay, bye. Love you. Back to what I was saying. I think we're going to pick 6 prompts for today. So let's just jump straight into it. Number 1, 2-word title. There are already so many. We have Love Unleashed. We have Immortal Dark, Wild Eyes, The Match, The Enemy, Between Us, Anxious People by Frederick Buckman, The Nightingale, The Immortalists, The Obsession, Love Unwritten. I think I'm gonna go with Love Unwritten. This is just one of those books that I've had my eye on a little bit more recently, and I'm kind of like, oh, I want to pick that up. I want to see what that is about. This is part of the Lakefront Billionaire series. So this is book 1, this is book 2. I'm assuming it's like interconnected standalone, so you might not have to read the first one, but it's probably helpful. And this series is set in Lake Wisteria, is that correct? I want to say Lake Wisteria. And I'm pretty sure this is single dad and nanny. So Raphael is a single dad. He has a son, and the nanny of that son is Ellie. And I'm assuming Ellie and Raphael fall in love. I tend to enjoy Lauren Ash's writing, but I've never had a 5-star from her. I've read the Dreamland Billionaire series, and now I've started this series by her. I haven't read is it the Dirty Air series? I heard that's the right name of it. Like the F1 series that she has. I tried to read the first book in that series a couple years ago, and I just like couldn't get into it. It just wasn't my vibe. But I tend to give her books like 3, 3.5, 4 stars. So I'm intrigued to see if this will be better than the others. Maybe not as good as the others. I'm not sure. But I feel like her writing is very just like easy to consume. It just kind of flies by, which I really enjoy. It's like a no brain power type of book, which is good. Moving on to prompt number 2. A book you've been avoiding. Ooh, well, I feel like that can't be anything that is new. Maybe it's time to do Girl Serpent Thorn. I feel like I've had this on, I don't even know how many TBRs I've had this on. Like, it has been on so many monthly TBRs that it's a bit ridiculous, and I have no idea why I've avoided this. This is YA fantasy, and it follows a girl who has a poisonous touch, I think. But it's literally like so short. It is just over 300 pages. I don't don't know if this is a standalone or a series. I have a feeling that it's a standalone, which would be quite nice because it's just like 300 pages and then done. It's not like it's going to end on a cliffhanger and then I have to go get the next one and it's like a whole thing. It's just like read it and done. At least that's what I'm thinking. But it sounds interesting, so I am going to read this in September. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stop avoiding it. Again, have no idea why I've been avoiding it. There's literally no valid reason for it. But I feel like when you've been avoiding a book and then you finally read it, it feels so good to get it off your physical TBR. So I'm hoping that's what's gonna happen with this. Third prompt is a book with love in the title. I could have done Love Unwritten, but do we have anything else? We have Sit Stay Love, we have Love Unleashed. Is that it? That might be it. Oh, I do have some books around the back, but I don't think any of these have love in the title. So it looks like we're between Sit Stay Love or Love Unleashed, and I think I want to go with Love Unleashed. This is a newer book to my TBR. I received this from the publisher a couple of weeks ago, and it's about a girl in Brisbane who goes to New York City, and hate to mention it again, but I did just come home from New York City and I live in Brisbane, so that just sounds really fun, and I kind of want to read it sooner rather than later because of that reason. But it sounds like she was really imagining this incredible life that she was going to live in New York City, and it doesn't really end up happening the way that she thought it would. Like, I think she was thinking she would land this incredible, really luxurious job that would just get her all the places she wanted to be, and like, you know, put her on this career path that was just absolutely easy and lovely and glamorous, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen that way. And when she stumbles on a handsome single dog dad, it's like single dad, but single dog dad, who just happens to be a literary editor, she decides that if she can convince him she's more than a dog sitter, her dreams will finally come true. Oh, but it might not go that way. Interesting. I'm intrigued. This sounds very interesting. I'm gonna put this on my TBR. Hopefully we get to it. It looks so cute. I love a pink cover. Book number 3. A spooky book. I feel like we could go a few different directions with this one. The first one that I thought of is A Witch's Back by Sophie H. Morgan. It just looks like a really cute little rom-com that's witchy, I guess. Oh my gosh, the back of it literally says, a fun, enjoyable read to pick up this spooky season. So it's giving a cute little spooky book, but just like cutesy vibes, you know? But I'm also like, do I want to save this for October? Because I think that would be really fun. But then we could go for something a bit more like thriller, mystery vibes. I feel like Death at Morning House is kind of giving that, because I think this is like a haunted house YA mystery, so that could be fun. I could do The Obsession, but I feel like this is giving more thriller than like spooky. I feel like Haunted House is giving more like spooky. And then The Immortal Dark, I feel like this is a like dark academia vibe, which gives spooky vibes to me. I think it's like set in a school maybe. The Cruel Prince meets Ninth House in this dangerously romantic dark academia fantasy where a lost heiress must infiltrate an arcane society and live with the vampire she suspects killed her family and kidnapped her sister. It does sound really good, doesn't it? I think I'm gonna go with Death at Morning House because I feel like this just gives me spooky vibes. I got this when I was in New York and it's signed by the author, which is also just so fun. And I love the cover of this one. How fun is this? But if you didn't know, this is written by Maureen Johnson, who is also the author of the Truly Devious series, which I love. So I'm excited to see a brand new world for her, new characters, new setting. I think it'll be really fun. Moving on to prompt number 5. AI chooses. Okay. Do you have to pay for ChatGPT? Okay, I have ChatGPT up here, like the free version. I don't really know how it works. Like, do you have to have a subscription? Do you have to pay for it? I don't know. But I think I'm able to ask it some questions. So I feel like I either want to ask for just like a recommendation and just like let AI choose, maybe give a genre or something, or I can ask for like a number. Like I can count how many books are on my TBR cart and then ask them to pick a number between whatever, how many I have. And that can be the choice. I really do want to work on my physical TBR, so maybe we should do that. Let me just count up how many books I have on here. 1, 2, 3, 24, 25, 22, 43, 46. Choose a number between 1 and 46. Let's go with 17. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 11, 12, 16, 17. Okay, that means we are reading Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. I am not mad at that. I'm really excited to be reading this month. How gorge is this cover? I'm obsessed with the covers of this like series as a whole, and if you don't know, I'm sure a lot of you do. The mountains on the spines line up, and I'm assuming they're going to continue to line up as the series progresses, which is just so much fun. I'm obsessed with that. But yeah, we are going to be reading Wild Eyes this month, which follows, I mean, they're all single dad, chart-topping country singer Skylar Stone, and then our love interest is Weston Belmont. I love the name Weston. West. That's such a cool name. While Skylar's brain says settling down with a small town horse trainer is impossible, her heart says it's right where she belongs. I'm intrigued. I'm hoping I like it better than the first one. I didn't dislike the first one, which was Wild Love, by the way. I didn't dislike it. I think I gave it like 3.5 stars. It was like good and it was fun, but it just didn't hook me. I feel like I just didn't get super connected to the characters, so I'm hoping that maybe I feel more connected to these characters, but we'll see. You never know before you start a book, so we'll just have to give it a go. See what I think. And that means we are on our last prompt, so 6th and final prompt. It says reread an old favorite. Okay, that's really exciting. I love doing rereads, but what do I pick? I am like halfway through my Tower of Dawn reread, and I have been halfway through that for so long. So I could pick that, and that could kind of force me to keep going with that, but I'm also like, what about Magnolia? What about Emily Henry? Like, do I start a Magnolia reread? Maybe. I have been really itching to do an M. Henry read, but I don't know what. I either want to do Beach Read or Happy Place, but I don't know. I'm so torn. I think I'm gonna do Beach Read. This was the first Emily Henry book I ever read. This is my copy that I read in 2021, and I haven't done a reread since then, and I feel like I remember loving it, and I remember specific like scenes from it, specific quotes from it. I remember the letter quite well, but I feel like there's probably a lot that I have forgotten. Because I read it in 2021, that was like right at the beginning of me like really getting back into reading, and I feel like I didn't appreciate Emily Henry's writing as much then as I do now, so I'm really intrigued to read it with just a more established book taste. Like, I feel like I know what I like a lot more now. I appreciate writing a lot more now, and I don't know, I'm just intrigued. I've always said, like, I've always continued to say this is one of my favorite books ever. I will say Happy Place is my favorite Emily Henry book. That is just the one that speaks to me the most, I connect to the most. Harriet is literally me written on a page, and so I do want to do a reread of that and like fully annotate it and really go through it. But I think I'm going to start with Beach Read. I think I'm going to do that. That is so fun. I'm so excited about this TBR. I'm really happy with it. I'm so excited. Hopefully I can actually successfully read at least majority of the books on this TBR this month, because last month was a complete and utter fail. Ooh, I'm so excited. Let me just do a little bit of a reshuffle and then we can do a bit of a recap. So for our September TBR, we have Love Unwritten, Girl Serpent Thorn, Love Unleashed, Death at Morning House, Wild Eyes, and lastly, Beach Read. I'm so intrigued to know what I'm going to think of all of these, but I think it's going to be a good month of reading. I'm excited to get back into just reading every day. There are so many new releases to read, so many series I want to continue. I really want to work again on just like getting my physical TBR down a little bit. I think I'm going to try and not buy too many books for the rest of the year, because we just have so many great ones to get to. So I want to be a little bit more conscious of not expanding my physical TBR too much for the rest of the year at least, and just focus on getting through it a little bit more. But yeah, there are so many books I'm so excited to get to on here. Obviously my TBR, but also just so many in general. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing what's on my September TBR, even though it is a little bit later this month. Hopefully you guys don't mind too much. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have an incredible week, and I will see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.